Welcome back. Oh, as the sign says, welcome back to the canyon, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Yesterday, insertion of temporality. Yesterday, it rained all day. We had, I think when I got up in the morning, we had a 30% chance of rain at 8 a.m., and it started raining when I was up at 5. So it rained pretty much all day, including at one point it rained to a biblical level, like where parking lots just spontaneously filled up with water. Today it is not raining. It is a wonderful day outside, aside from the fact that the wind ain't gonna quit. So, a couple unnecessary apologies and disclaimers because it's stuff that I have literally no control over. But I'm gonna try 2 cameras. God bless me. I'm gonna try it. I use an ultra lightweight tripod. It weighs about 1.5 pounds for camera 2. There's no way to attach weight to it. It doesn't have a screw on the bottom or anything. I'll double check. If I can dangle a weight from it, we should be able to get camera 2 in place. But the wind is blowing 5-gallon buckets around, so I don't think a 1.5 pound camera apparatus is going to be all right. My main rig weighs 10 pounds, so I think it's probably okay. Why do we have to fight the wind? Why can't we just do something on the bench? Well, because I don't have anything. I almost had something, but you can thank UPS for in introducing you to the wind. The microphone has been good in the wind previously. It is howling today. We're talking 20-mile-an-hour winds. We'll see how we do. But this is a video that has to happen because you guys, I love you guys, man. But I still get emails and Instagram messages and everything else that like I don't know. Guys, they're right here. And they do not disappoint. These are soft. So I got into this position of how do we specifically test an insert? It's easy to test a tire. We just do the things that we do. So to test an insert, we're going to do the things that we do. Here's what we're going to do. It's sitting right there. And I'm not doing my usual thing where I already have 3 pre-mounted because it's an insert, not a tire. So we're not looking about the difficulty or lack thereof in mounting the insert. They should be easy to mount. What we have up here on the rack, still mounted to their wheels, are the Swamp Claws, and inside them are the Injora blue inserts. And we had all kind of remarked that during that test, our good buddy, this gentleman, the gentleman who works too hard all day long, was rolling on a tire that was doing far better than we had anticipated. But I think we all agreed we had an insert. Oh, make sure we get the... Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. That we had an insert that was too firm because he's a light boy. So we're going to go backseat forthsies here. And what we're going to do is we're not going to run a full protocol. It's windy. We're not going to run 2 cameras. We'll move to 2 cameras. I'm still working it out here. We'll move to 2 cameras when we're on the greens. But what we'll do is baseline. We'll do the namesake run and establish the baseline and refresh in my memory how the blues inside the Swamp Claws with the S3 compound that doesn't quite act like S3, how did it do? Where was it specifically that we were left wanting? Because we only need, the tire test protocol is full and thorough, but we're not testing a tire. We already tested a tire. It's still on the board. Swamp Claw, 94.1. I think that we need to hit the cluster. The cluster being Slick Rock, the staircase, Daphne's Line, and the big side hill. They go in a little circle. We are going to hit that little circle, and then I'm going to come back in here, unmount these, mount them with these, ramble about it a little, and then we're going to go and we're going to do it again. And then, provided that there's enough time, we have a lovely gentleman sitting over here on megalithics. No, we don't. We don't have a gentleman on megalithics. I was thinking about the landmines. We have an overly firm insert in Kronk. Kronk is temporarily bodiless, but we have an overly firm insert. And I have, through the magic of... Oh, I threw the wrapper away, man. These showed up at the house like 20 minutes ago. Piggy Ship. Thanks to Piggy Ship, we've got 2 sets here. Two orders directly from Injora came in. I want to put these in the landmines, and if y'all's lucky and we do this in a quick enough fashion, I will cut some very haphazard donuts out of reticulated polyethylene and show you how I fit an insert inside of a tire that is not Injora skinny. Because these are way too thin to fill out a typical Class 2, like a J-Concepts Class 2. It is that amount of space. It is in the 8mm range, and this just floats around inside. You will get the smear over where the tread is laying over on the side like that. It's basically like running a tire with no PSI, because what we did in Lolo, I'm pointing where you can't see. I'm pointing over there. What's in Lolo is the blue, cut blues with a little sandwich on the side. So hope if I talk less and do more, we can get to that. So on the drive back, the wind had died down for just a split second. And it is wind to the point where I'm looking up and I'm like, I keep one hand near the tripod because I don't want to blow the tripod over, and I watch the trees and think, oh, please just all stay attached to the ground today. Just do that for me. We experience winter for about 4 weeks. 4 to 5 weeks is what we get of a season that one could call winter, and we are in the depths of it. And it's usually just sporadic rain. We get more of this. They're doing a thing to me right now, which is these are doing. Had I forgotten? Okay, we pushed out a little wide there. They had 94. There's little to argue about with a 94, but man, they're feeling really good today. Staircase, try to stick more left. Oh. Oh. Whoop. That was good. You can really see that sidewall stiffness. Get a little more. A little more. Yeah. They will reward you. You give them that little bit of pepper. Okay. That stuff right there. That's the stuff we're looking for. That's energy return, where we're not deflecting enough, we're not conforming enough, and then the little silicone goes boop and pops back and gives us those little hop and drop. Come around, looks great. Swamp Claw doing all right. Come up across it. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Little. And when I said they're over firm, I mean they are slightly over firm, and because of his weight. You throw another pound and a half on him, you just throw the blues on a Phoenix, and you are good to go. Well, if you're running an Injora. If you're running another tire, you're going to have to shim them out, or you're going to flop about. This is a genuinely good tire. Hold it back a little more that way. Positionability is really good. Okay, here we go. Hop, 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 hop. But I think yeah, this combo's really close, and he is underweight for these. What I'm going to be most anxious to see is how is this going to affect clearance. What are we going to be looking at? Like, are we going to hang belly more because we're getting just that much more deflection? But it's that little stuff. These little fits and stutters there. It is small. This is little stuff. But when we're in this deep, it is the little stuff. That's what I'm looking at. Gut shot up. Oh yeah. That cutback is strong. Go shuttle side, pull it back. Yeah. If the insert and the tire allow me to go where I want to go, they are definitely doing the thing. But can we do the thing just a little bit more? Here's an unanswerable question. What does wind feel like to a bird? I see birds flying in the wind and I'm like, I guess if you put a person on the Jamiroquai floor and you glide it all around, maybe it's like that. You have to think in advance, or I guess just walking on a ship, I guess. But not, because you're in the air. There's nothing really pressing against. I don't know. Birds are wild, man. Are you gonna make it look really good? Is it just the right amount of morning dew? Okay. So any throttle input right there, we're rolling out. And we are going to switch to an insert that's softer than this. So I feel like that condition might get worse. Ooh. But are they over stiff? And that lack of squishy downy is hurting. That was really high on the entry, really high. Okay, don't just blast in there. Give it a little gentle. Come down, there you go. Why am I talking low when the wind is loud? Getting about the right amount of slip. Then okay, I'm just gonna let him go. This is your last chance. You see the pivot? Little input, little bit, and we're gonna drop. Boop. So, can we get through that with less delicacy? Do we have to rely less on finger control? Guys like Lolo just blast through this. And honestly, isn't that what we want? All right, and now I have done what we usually do, which is 3. Can you see there? Look at that. Wow, green. In the hand. So we still got a blue in there. Yeah, this is softer. When you do this compared to this, it feels a little bit softer. But this is, yeah. I think most of us are going to be greens. If you got a hard body on it, maybe the blues or a Phoenix. Something that no matter what you do, you're not getting under 6.5 pounds. You're mostly going to be about that 7.5. TRX4s, probably blue. Unless you got a sport and you're gutting it out, then you're going to be greens. Also, someone had mentioned in a comment that they thought that the inserts might be directional. I think I got a message on Instagram, and I can understand where they got that perception, as we can show you right here. So here's the tread direction. Tire runs this way. So as we're taking the insert out, you will notice all the veins squash over that way, and you'll notice it is a tight fit vertically. Well, we definitely went through some puddles there. But it doesn't matter, they're silicone. So they will deflect that way. And I have already tested this as I've remounted the blues a couple times. I'll mount it in a tire this way so that they're like that. It will flop them back the other way within the first couple times you run it, which makes sense. So this is why I think that they start to feel a little softer after you've been running them, because the inner is easier to mush because they're kind of laid down. The outside, funnily enough, you'll notice lays down the other way. Crazy, right? So how much softening will we get on these? Because these are soft. I mean, looks like a bunch of lettuce. These are soft. And the Swamp Claw mounts, as one would expect, the insert is pretty well matched. All we need to do is ensure that we make it a left. I've mounted 2 rights. We're mounting a left. Swamp Claws are not bubble juice, just as you can see. And they've been trained. I like to leave a tire that has been tested, a little behind the scenes here. After a tire has been tested and it goes up onto the out-of-frame tire rack, I don't dismount them right away if it's a good tire. If it's a tire that failed and is skewer bound, it comes off immediately. Otherwise, I like to leave it mounted because the tire will learn, it will be trained to the wheel, and then when you have to mount it a second time, you just slap them on, like we're doing right here. I'm not even going crisscross. We're just going in a circle. And they're going to hold because they know they've been on these wheels now for a couple weeks. And yeah. And here's our boy. He just did the thing. We're going to do the thing again. It is not particularly muddy out, even after fresh rain. It is quite sandy, and I think these did to the point of what I would call remarkably well on the blues. I know that they scored a 94, but I felt like they did even better than that out there this time. So, now we are going to find out, how do we do on the green? I am unnaturally, I am optimistic to a level ordinarily not seen, because I think that these are these are a much better match to his mass. But, is this guy still on? Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is. The course will tell us for sure. This is another of those instances where the drive back, I felt like I could feel a difference. It looked more compliant. But was it? Okay. Right. I said it's sandy out. We'll give it some points to that, but I expected just the dead pull. Like it gets to there and it just goes. Had the blues softened up to the point where they had a combination of soft firmness, firm softness that was somehow better at this, I was definitely more wowed. Oh, wait, hold on. Yep. I felt better about the blues straight out of the pack. The further you are to the right on this, the better you're doing. Maybe it's not going to take that long to seat them in. This is a thing. Man, I'm glad you're here with me, because straight out of the package, throw them in the tires, you put them on there, you're expecting, by you I mean me, are definitely expecting more than what I got. I was like, oh yeah, these are going to be compliance kings, and we're just going to fly up the face of this. Okay, not a loss of height there, and way better turn in across the top. So I am to a small degree mystified by the lack of ability here at the beam. We just stall at the wall. Okay, my only theorization that I can apply to this is that the other insert is firm enough that center ring, which I still think is kind of overly firm, is kind of grabbing onto the top of the little mini wall there and allowing us to pull over. Because I'm getting more traction hop now. And a bad shuttle. I don't recall experiencing any shuttle on the Blues. Is this insert too soft for this tire? I am so glad that we are going to try this in a second application, because the worn-in Blues have so far been, well, better at almost everything than the greens have shown to be. So I have to just keep reminding myself that a result is a result. Now, Blues didn't do super great here. We got a pushback and a flop. Do I feel that the control has changed? Yes. Okay. The little hop and drop there. What in the? Sounds like that building coming apart. It has reduced slightly. Steering response has been impacted. Not a lot, but a little. We had a little bit better, well, I'll tell you right here. We had a little bit better steering response on the Blue, and I mean a little tiny bit. It's very strange. I don't know if the Blues had just seasoned themselves in perfectly, but were this test blind and you didn't tell me what insert, I had two sets of claws and I was running one on the Blues and one on the greens, I would say that the Blues overall were doing better. Hopefully we're going to see something today that the greens are just better at. I feel like I'm being much more cautious about the placement of camera 2. Is that better or worse? I genuinely don't know. I believe it has lowered the rear end a little bit, but okay, right here. Come on, show me. All right, that's pretty good. We had some wheel hop, but we were really far right. And the more right you are, the better. Let's bring it up again. Straight up here. Oh, unquestionably. Green right there, yeah. Descending, that twist descent feels identical. Couldn't tell you which one was in there. Gut shot up. Will we get a rear interference issue? Or... oh, they just need some time in them. They just need some time in them. We've wheeled 5 minutes. It's getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And now, it wasn't explicitly spoken, but I definitely noticed on the Blues, and I said it, but I didn't put the A and the B, the 1 and the 2 together, that when we came out here on the claws on the Blues, I was like, wow, I don't know if I remember them being this good. So there's definitely something that I didn't anticipate, which is they kind of wear in, like, or season, not wear in, they kind of season in. So I think what we might be collectively witnessing is the greens folding over. That inner rib is laying down, me see here. Because that did much higher and much better at that higher cut than we did on the blue. I think we have to get to the softness. It's not necessarily there in the package. What's crazy is how they come packed in a little Injora thing, as you saw them in the pack. The holes in the middle are square because they're smudged in there. Let's see here. What's the lift look like? Okay, that's a rollout. We'll dial it back a little bit. Yeah, same amount, same level of maneuverability. Come on, pop out. There we are. I mean, he's gonna land wheels. It's just what he does. He's a working man. He works for a living. What do I feel in the difference on the side hill? It feels exactly the same. It doesn't feel different to me at all, which is, I mean, I guess we're not getting that much drop, so the CG's not really pulling down. We're not getting over compression in the rear like I thought we were gonna get. It's falling out in what feels to me to be pretty much the same exact spots. That drop feels the same. The lightness on the high side front feels the same. Now, can we slow poke it over? Yeah, right there. Just got to get to the spot, and there's your spot. It is ever so slightly better at a couple things, but for the most part, that blue, I guess, has just been wheeled enough that if I were to pick a set that was going to stay on him, it would probably be the opposite of one would think. I would probably keep the blues on the front and put the greens in the rear, because I think he can. I think he could utilize it. But the greens did not. They did not blow me away. So we're going to put them together in something that's about a pound heavier. Well, when it has a body, and we'll see how it feels at least. All right, I think we're mostly ready to fit a 36 millimeter wide insert into a tire that is 47, 48. Yeah, 45 with nothing in it. So we're gonna mount to about 47 wide. That's 5 millimeters of open space per side, and that's too much. So 3 are done. There is the last one. I had 2 ready to cut, and you can see why I didn't leave both. It harkens back to that. There was a Saturday Night Live sketch where it was like some college pep team. Will Ferrell was there, Sherry O'Terry was there, and it was UCKF, and they tried to keep getting the F guy to dance to the front, and then the guy would tackle him out of the way. So when I had 2 of these lined up, I was like, I don't want to get demonetized. So it's really easy to cut the fridge foam, and we're roughing this one out so I can get the big piece out of the way here. Now, it is semi-critical, the foam, what you use to trace. You're tracing. I just traced around this. This is suboptimal. If I was going to do this a lot, I would make a template out of like hardboard, press it down over the top of this, and then just trace it around with a razor knife. When I make these marks, this insert is basically a little oversized, which is the problem. I don't know what these came from. We're using it because it's as hard as a rock, so it deflects less, holds marker a little better. I had to make these. We had to get these underway. So I have to undercut on the outside. So I want to be inside the line, and if I'm inside the line by a little bit, that's fine, because if you're oversized, this is going to roll over like this and kind of fill this space out, and I think that's going to give you some oddities of performance one side versus the other. We also made the executive decision Lolo is running his shims. These are shims. He is running his shims on the outside. So if this is the outside of the tire, his shim is out here. I'm setting these shims up on the inside. Does it make a difference? I genuinely have no idea. Then, when you cut out the inside, you want to make sure that when this is cut, it lays inside the bead. It has to stay inside the bead. If it tries to overhang that bead at all, it makes it really difficult to mount the tire. So I get to the line and I try to stay outside of it, and it's not going to be pretty. I said that out loud, number 3 was the best one I'd done. There's Lolo's set and there's this set. That was the best one I'd done. Hopefully the streak can continue and this will at least look like a circle. It's not horrible. It's not great. Can you cut this foam on a laser? I don't know. I feel like I want to find out, but not this, because that's close enough to blue, right? A blue diode laser is not cutting that. That's what I understand about lasers. And why we want it oversize, undersize. Yeah, I think we're pretty close. This could maybe be the tiniest bit smaller on the outside. Optimally, the foam, a J-Concepts medium would be the foam to use, which if you're doing this to a J-Concepts tire, you should have those. Then just don't put a lot of pressure, don't press down on the foam a lot when you're inserting it. I did learn from doing the first set of these, you absolutely have to put your shim in first. And you want the shim to sit behind, can we see it behind the lip? Behind the lip all the way around. We got a little overhang right there. You can always just trim it out. And then these feel like they want to grab more than these. I experienced that with the greens. So getting it in without completely upsetting the little micro thin shim that we have in place is super fun. There we go. And then to add to the, and then it has a nice squishy squish. It has to add to the chaos of what we have going. I've decided to change the wheels at the same time. These were not the wheels that I had intended for this build because I ordered those wheels before this build was even a thought. But now that we know the future of where Kronk is going to turn out, I thought it was torn there. I think these are going to be fantastic. They have very low offset. So, or high offset? I can never remember. Negative offset is wider. Doesn't make any sense to me. Should be positive offset, makes it more wideningness. Anyway, we're getting lucky here. We're getting so far so lucky. We feel like something's going to happen here because I don't see any blue encroaching over the lip, and this here, for what will be the finale portion, will be the real test here, as we don't have a body to run. Why do we not have a body to run, you ask? Well, I had hoped to be painting it, so there's all the bits. And if we were just mounting this conventionally on body posts and not through trickery, I could just slap a body on it, but there's nothing to hold the body on. It mounts to the bumpers. And the front radiator, you'll notice there's no screws. They actually mount to the fenders. So if the fenders aren't on, you can't put the radiator in. Did I get all the screws? No. All right. Now, worthy of note, this wheel is aluminum, and you see it has no hole. It has a hole in it. Look how far in those go. This is definitely an option. I got these straight from Injora at the same time I ordered the inserts and some scale hardware because I love the scale hardware. If you're in a position where you need to narrow up your vehicle and you want a very mil-spec looking wheel, These are $25 a set, and they really pull it in. Look how you can't even see that hex is down in there. So here he is, and we are definitely going to put the flexural abilities of the greens to the test, because we're running this just all unsprung. Like, when I had just these two bolted on, it would just keep sliding off of Susan like that, because this wheel, not having any holes or anything in it, this one should still be set to grams. So the wheels weigh about 115 grams or so. The inserts, if you'll remember, are right around 70. So this full combo is 260. With just, like, adding the insert is basically like putting a brass ring in it. So we are leapfrogging past kilo of wheelos here to what, 1,040 grams. And we have no body, and his chassis is carbon fiber. And as I said, these, look how, I mean, for the scale accuracy, we are at 230 millimeters, 9 inches wide. That's a skinny boy. That is a skinny boy. So, will he be topsy-turvy? I don't think so. Oh my God. We just bolted, with no body on it, the rear is going to sit a bit high. We just bolted 2.25 pounds of wheel and tire on. Radio. Still Tracy Jordan method. You just yell at it. Cronk. Button. Beep. No two Fusions have the same volume level on startup. There's that spur, man. All right. The final test for this portion, first day of testing. We're going to have more to test, I think. Of the Injora greens, which they did not look amazing on baseline. So if we hope for anything, we hope for better. A couple important notes. One is we have a compliance level that is just ridiculous. The thing slithers across the ground like a snake. There's a route that I run over every time I'm on my way back here, and there was basically no chassis movement. It just went straight over it. As I want to say that front axle was something like 800 grams, and what are they, 260 a piece? So the front axle, including the rotating, is over 1,300 now. 2.5 pounds at the front axle. We have hopes, let's say. Also, this gearing, 1,200. We can't do it. I have to be at 40 or 50% throttle just to try to pull over. Like, this sit right here isn't because of any sort of overall loss of grip. This is because we can apply an amount of throttle, which is effectively we're past the realm of low speed control and into, you can't use that slow. So we've got to gear this guy up if we want to stay with this. The amount of throttle input I have to give it. Oh, that was that lift up. Still getting sort of the same amount of hop. It definitely feels better than on the inserts it was on before. And I don't know if that is the compliance of the insert itself, or the fact that each insert added 70 grams per wheel. I mean, honestly, I would rather have not added 70 grams to the rear, I don't think. The rear pulls up pretty nicely. The compliance feels better now than it did before. I gotta check my endpoints. But, man, here's the thing. Because the blues had done so well, when we get to the greens, I think I had I had a hopeful anticipation that was so high. I honestly think, here we go. To the insert, sprung and unsprung are the same thing, it just sees weight. The handling and the behaviors of the vehicle are in large part determined by that ratio of sprung to unsprung. But to the insert, weight is weight. That said, I think these inserts are going to be happier with more weight than what they're seeing, which is at the very least counterintuitive. They say 2 to 3 kg. We've got 2 kg unsprung in the front axle. How about right here? Yeah. I mean, if you drive anything with a body, it's cheating a little bit. I'm seeing a tiny little bit of slump back, and a Fusion will hold you. It's the low price electronic anchor. I just think that we have we achieved too much unsprung, maybe too much rotating mass. Too much rotating mass as a portion of unsprung weight. I don't know. This is the best the landmines have looked. I mean, look at this compliance. Like a snake. It's so slow. I need to go to the display for it. Okay, let me get out of this hole before I break an axle. Let me tell you. Yeah, that's 50% throttle. So, so I run a conventional trigger. So I am at 50% of my trigger pull to go that speed. How? Catch of the day? Catch of the day. Look at this right through here. Once again, fresh out of the package, I think they get 5 minutes in. I think they just get that little bit better. I think you have to put a certain amount of wheel time on these to get the goods. They already feel better. This is the same situation that Baseline saw, not too long ago. So in doing this, snake wheeling without a body, which is something that I don't recommend to people, because if you get inside you the feel of driving without the body and you realize that the body is its weight as high as you can put it in general. So if you drive without the body, you're like, oh my goodness, how did I get so... Everything's good now. Look at that right cut. Oh, yeah. If anyone is asking the question to themselves or to me through the ether, through the magic of space-time, do I feel a difference with the donut on the inside versus the outside? I do not. I can't tell the difference. What's strange to me is that these... Oh, that was good. This was weight... There's more weight on it, so that the insert that's designed to have less weight on it works better with more weight on it. That's definitely into the realm of intuition. Yeah. How much is the insert and how much is the fact that the insert is heavy? I don't know. I feel like the blues, I definitely warmed into the blues and then got like a real feeling about them. And now with the greens, I was hoping for like more wow factor out of the bag. And they definitely get better. And they're definitely doing the thing. But I guess the perception I'm having is that of lightning not striking twice. Like, they are the same thing as the blues, obviously. They are softer in the hand and in the tire. They are super mushy in these. You put them in some well-worn J-Concepts green and they are really smushy. But they weren't like the first time I dropped a squid insert in a tire and was like, what is happening? That's a little push there, a little downward push. What are we gonna do right here? We have no high weight. Ooh, it's gonna slither. Yeah. They need time. They need time. So my advice to all of y'all, and it's going to happen inevitably anyway. Oh, should have flopped. Should have flopped. I put too much juice on it. When you get your greens, or you get an Injora insert of any kind, and you put it in the tire of your choice, whether it need be no nut shimmed or not, run it. Like, give it a full pack before before you start taking anything apart. The silicone needs time, because the blue definitely got better, and I anticipate the green getting better when this guy's got a little bit more weight from the body to press his tires down. Honestly, I don't know if he's going to slither as cleanly as he did out of that, but I think he's going to do well. The most involved Quickview, I think, of a product that we have technically already quickviewed. We're just quickviewing a different color. They are the same animal in a different color. It's like when you first find out in the big cat, before you get to the big cats, the biggest of, the biggest of the cats that can still purr. So you got the cougar and the mountain lion and the panther and the jaguar, and there's another one. They're all the same cat. It's the same cat. They're just different colors. That's the Injora inserts. They're the same cat, it's just different colors. And they need to be treated basically the same. You can run a heavier vehicle than you would think on the greens, and you can run a lighter vehicle than you would think on the blues, particularly if you cut them. So, are they the man for every season? I don't know, maybe, because you can cut them to make them softer. You can buy the red set, which are so firm. They were clearly designed by someone who's insane. And you can shim them to fit pretty much any tire, because even if you wanted to put them in something real wide, well, anything 475, I should say. I don't know about cramming this into a canyon trail because the top's really going to start to crease over. But you could shim it on both sides in something wide, and there you go. They take a little bit of DIY, much like a Canyon Custom. These are Canyon semi-customs, I'd want to say. You can't argue at 20 bucks, man. If you're going to order from China, get a set of blues, get a set of greens, sample. I think if you cut the inner ribs out or the outer ribs out of a set of blues, you can get something in between a blue and a green. I think a fully cut blue actually might be a hair softer than a green. I like to throw a lot of pertinent info in the last 45 seconds, so only the people who really stick to it know what's going on. Injora silicone inserts, is it a paradigm shift? Is it a game changer? I have to say it is. It's $20 a set, and if you can't make this fit your needs, baby, you're going to have to readjust your needs. While you're busy with that, don't put too much energy into it, because what you need to retain a little bit of energy for in between now and when we meet again is you one and all do your very best. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the Canyon with whatever shenanigans we think up next.